What if history has been telling only half the story? History is often presented as a record of facts, a timeline of kings, wars, and civilizations. But what if history is something else entirely? What if the past we have inherited is only a fragment of a much larger story? A story shaped by those who survived. A story edited by those who held power. And a story that may have buried some of humanity's greatest mysteries beneath layers of time. For centuries, we have been told that civilization emerged gradually, that humanity evolved from primitive tribes into organized societies, that knowledge advanced step by step. Yet scattered across the world are discoveries that refuse to fit comfortably into that narrative. Ancient monuments, forgotten texts, impossible legends, and stories that seem to describe knowledge far beyond their age. Among all of these mysteries, one name appears again and again: Solomon. To some, he was a wise king, to others a prophet, to many a legend. But according to ancient traditions, Solomon was far more than a ruler. He possessed extraordinary wisdom. He commanded unseen forces. He communicated with beings beyond ordinary human understanding. And he built one of the most famous structures in history, the temple. But here is where the mystery begins. Outside of religious texts, the trail grows strangely cold. The neighboring empires of the ancient world left thousands of records behind. Yet Solomon's legendary kingdom remains frustratingly elusive. Was he a historical ruler whose story was transformed over time? Was he the combination of several ancient figures merged into one legend? Or does his story preserve memories from a much older age, an age almost completely forgotten? Tonight, we follow the clues. From the temples of ancient Mesopotamia, to the myths of Persia, to the sacred traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Because hidden within the story of Solomon may be a much larger question. Not who Solomon was, but what humanity has forgotten. As we reach the end of this journey, we are left with more questions than answers. Was Solomon simply a wise king whose story grew with time? Was he inspired by older rulers whose memories survived through myth and legend? Or do ancient traditions preserve fragments of a forgotten chapter of human history? The truth is that we may never know with certainty. The temples have fallen. The empires have vanished. And many of the voices that once carried these stories have been lost to time. Yet the mystery remains. Because across thousands of years, across different civilizations, and across different religions, the same themes continue to appear. Sacred knowledge, chosen rulers, divine wisdom, and memories of a world that may have been very different from the one described in our history books. Perhaps Solomon's greatest secret is not whether he commanded extraordinary powers. Perhaps his greatest secret is that his story points towards something much older, something buried beneath myth, beneath religion, beneath history itself. And maybe the most important question is not, who was Solomon, but rather, what have we forgotten? Thank you for joining me on this journey. And if history is truly hiding something, where should we look next?